Hello, everyone. It's Audrey with Audrey's Variety Show. And last week's episode of Idolish 7 really bothered me. It really did. So much to the point to where I wanted to watch another episode to get rid of the taste in my mouth from the last episode. But let's get into everything. Okay, let's start out with To Your Eternity. Okay, To Your Eternity was sorry, it's Sunday morning on this recording. Uh, I apologize for not uploading this on Saturday. I've been working a lot, and Idolish bothered me all week. But anyways, so into your eternity, in this episode we have uh, Bond has figured out that Fushi can essentially bring the dead back to life. We have this religious people and um, telling him, wanting him to bring a dead person back to life. And Fushi ends up making essentially what we think is a lifeless doll. I'm getting it. I'm sorry, I just had a movie flashback of lifeless dolls um, from a movie. But anyway, sorry. Okay, so we have that going on. And like I told y'all I didn't like Bond because he mentions the fact that he's using Fushi and like that because usually you only see these people when you're about to the other people with Fushi that Fushi has encountered and had left an impression on him when you're about to die. And now we get to this point to where uh, so this is my thinking. This is my reasoning. I'm sorry, I'm collecting my thoughts because I wanted to say a whole lot, but I'm only going to say a little wisdom. Anyways, so yeah, like I thought, some off with him. So he's about to die. I think Bond is about to die, and he's hoping that I think he's going to try and use Fushi to his advantage for this. I'm not sure, but I just something about him always seemed off to begin with. Like he has so much knowledge, and I don't think it just comes from him. Encountering Fushi once. I'm sure he studied him and all that. But yeah, I don't know about Bond. Something is off about that. And he's probably trying to use Fushi's abilities to bring him back into life eventually. I'm not sure. Not sure. But yeah, other than that, um, I keep forgetting the little boy name. Um, uh, Dang it, I keep forgetting his name. But anyways, yeah, he proposes to Fushi at the end of this, and I'm like, huh? Hopefully, Fushi, you say no. No, don't do that. Don't do that. He's a part of a cult, okay? He has an unhealthy, obsession. I want to say with Fushi. I mean, it's been cultivated in you. You were been bred and taught to be very enamored with Fushi already. So, yeah, I don't think this would be a healthy relationship, you know. But anyway, moving on to the elephant. Idolish 7. So, Idolish, this episode 21, I was trying to wait for it today, but it'll come out till later today. So, we'll just do my thoughts on that next Saturday. But anyways, so this episode kind of opens up very, cute and endearing with Trigger having, roommate fights or roommate problems, and it opens up rather endearing. And then we cut to Riku and having a conversation with Izumi, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to bring Riku under control. And I'm like, you doing too much, and coddling him and trying to essentially control his just his essence, just his way of being, and his light and who he is, um, for to be manipulated to the masses and all of that, which happens all the time in the industry. It happens all the time, um, with everybody. People see something about you and want to try and utilize it and usurp it for their control. Okay, for their control. So for their control. So he's trying to do this, and um, it's all like you're becoming just like the rest of these managers that have a very unhealthy relationship and obsession with their talent. So far, the only one who is not is their actual manager, and she got on my nerves at the end of this episode because you could have done a little bit more than that, and that's really the meat of the episode. But let me back up. But so Rico's concerned about Trigger and all of that, and his brother as usual, which is fine. They'll be fine. But for me, in this episode, 10 was the MVP of the episode. Okay, um, he carried all of the real emotional stuff for this episode for me. Him and Tamaki, because they get to Irish Seven gets together in a gathering with Trigger, and they're trying to they're just hanging out, discussing things, and trying to offer their help in any way possible to put them back on the map, which they decline as they should. But in the midst of this, Tamaki gets into it with Renosuke and about um, family, and then family squabbles, and you should talk it out with your family and try to repair the relationship. And most of these people are agreeing, and I'm with Tamaki because I understand where coming from with that. Um, things don't always turn out right just because you speak to your family and try and talk things over. Sometimes, people stand where they stand, and some things just won't be reconciled just by talking or actions. And so, Chin breaks it up and, starts talking with Tamaki, and he's sharing his feelings about all of this. Like, look, I mean, I put myself in a better position, and I still don't have my family back. I'm still out here alone. Um, things aren't the same. I did what I was supposed to do, and I'm still alone. And Ted is kind of putting himself in a position where a lot of things are on his shoulders because he knows that his manager is crazy. Okay, he knows that, and I kind of fear for Ted because I'm not sure how this is going to play out because he's kind of psychopathic. The manager is crazy. Okay, so so he's trying to put a lot on his shoulders for a lot of people. And speaking of that, in the final few minutes of the episode, we have to where Riku comes across the manager for Zool, and he's opening up his mouth and talking, speaking on people's personal business, and saying that his brother essentially sold himself to Cujo to pay for his medical expenses, and this is just shocking. This is shocking news. Like, how you want to run up on somebody and air their personal business? Which is why the manager got on my nerves. I'm like, dude deserved to be slapped. He really did, or say something. And she just kind of like, let's go. And I'm like, you needed to do a little bit more than that to try and you know, push past this person. But we have a small little scene there to where his parent, Riku says, like, my parents never told me any of this. Well, why was I always left out? He's all like, oh, this happened to you too. I think that was a very genuine moment for the manager, but that's neither here nor there, really, because that doesn't justify what he's doing now. And but yeah, I'm like that scene right there, that episode right there, that part of the episode really bothered me. It really bothered me to no end. And I'm like, and then after that particular scene, Poison Gangster, and I couldn't even enjoy Poison. I couldn't even love to hate Poison Gangster, folks. I couldn't because dude was he irked me. He irked me with that because that's you don't do that. In professional setting, and you over here, hey. Yeah, I heard that your brother sold himself to pay for your medical expenses, and look at you, you ingrate. You over here smiling and laughing and dancing. Don't you know what your family did for you? Like, how dare you? You shut your mouth. But anyways, last but not least, Mob Psycho. So in Mob Psycho, this particular episode, we finish up the little mini arc, if you want to call it, of the psychic club going to have this encounter with aliens, which they end up doing. And it was fine. It was just a fine episode, a little bit zany of an episode. And the leader girl, she had a nice emotional scene um, while they're in the woods, going up to the highest part of the mountain to have this encounter. But I will say I think they spent a lot of the budget on the previous episodes with Dimple because as they're in the forest, some of the frames and some of the art was a little lacking. It really was. So, um, yeah, it kind of slipped up in the art and animation a little bit while they were in the forest. But the episode was fine. Um, but that's really all for this particular one. This one kind of ran a little long. But I will see you in the next one. Be safe, be kind, be wise. Bye bye.